Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with block 7 of the In a New York Beauty Minute. So this PDF is going to be in the show notes below. Yes, I had a bit of issues taping it together, but it'll work out fine. And yeah, it's I'm looking forward to doing this one. So, but first, let's get to our shout out. Shelly at the Quilted Forest is working really hard, having a great time over on her YouTube channel. Guys, go check her out. Give her some words of love and encouragement, and, you know, tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Now, as we're doing this, this is July 7th or 8th. I can't remember which one. It's July 7th or 8th. We're not sure. It's probably the 7th. Quilt Bingo is already underway, and that one is a really fun sew-along. It's a skill builder, and there's 3 different levels that you can work at, and you can have some fun with doing some different kind of blocks. Mine is going to end up being a charity quilt, and I'm making all 3 blocks, so I could probably do a few twin-size quilts with mine. I haven't decided yet, but we're having fun with that challenge, or that sew-along. Also, please share, like, and subscribe. Making comments helps push our analytics and push our video ahead, so we can continue giving you fun free patterns and fun sew-alongs and just having a great time here, actually. Now, also, we have a Facebook group, and it's growing really quickly, and we're always surprised at how many members are in there, and we're just having a lot of fun. There is a virtual sewing room for the Facebook members. It's hosted by Discord, and the people that are sewing in there are also having a great deal of fun. There's numerous community chats, and there's fabric exchanges by country to keep postal costs down, and we are just having a ball in there. Also, I speak for free about elements of design, working with scrap fabric and making charity quilts. I'm also currently now working on a second speaking engagement thing as requested by one of the guilds here, and I'm hoping to be ready by January with that. But will, you know, get a hold of me either by email or private message me through the Facebook group. Also, if you guys have shout outs, send me the link. Send me the link. I'm really lousy at looking for like stuff on YouTube, so give me the link, and, you know, tell me like first name and all the rest of the stuff, right? And you can either email that to me, or you can send it to me by Facebook. It's always important that we give shout outs to other quilting channels here, because this is YouTube is a forum where there's room for all of the voices and all the different ideas, and we just have a lot of fun here. So I think that's it. Come on in, let's get to the sewing here. Okay, here we are at the sewing machine. You're going to need some tape is your friend. Tape's really your friend. You need some fabric scissors. You need paper scissors for your PDF. Yeah, there's a lot of tools suddenly that have to come out and play. A pen to mark where you're right, like what color goes where. That's always a really quick, fast, easy guide. Add a quarter ruler. It's up to you whether you get this one or the wide one. I have these. I guess I'm going to be using them for a while. A tracing wheel to mark your lines. That's really helpful. I mean, I just love that about this. And a rotary cutter. Now, I'm going to explain something to you. This is not marked on your pattern, right? But straight of grain goes here. This is the outside edge. Straight of grain goes here and here, because it's the outside edge. Again, straight of grain if you can. And then, you know, we go into these pieces as well, where the straight of grain is along this edge, right? And these edges here, for this piece here, this is straight of grain. So you can't wiggle and maneuver these oddly, because then this edge is not going to be straight of grain. So, you know, you have to kind of like work with what you're given. All right, and I did cut my ends a little bigger, so I have a little bit of wiggle room, because wiggle room is sometimes really good. Now, with this, I have picked purple and green, and I have line matched this the best I can, and we're just going to start with laying out. I got some tulip pink, fun tulip pink fabric. I'm hoping that will work out well. And I got great big purple polka dots on here, so I decided, okay, let's have some fun with this. let's do this. Let's have a little fun. Now, it doesn't matter on this if you start in the middle and work out, or if you start on one end and work across. If you're doing two of these kind of like pointed rounds where the next one is here, let's say, you'd want to start on one end and go this way, and then on the other one you would go the other way. That way your seams are going to nest, right? It makes it a little easier assembly. I keep forgetting to do that because I don't really worry about that kind of thing. I have never had too much problems with these, and I'm just going to quickly put a pin down, and a pin or two down, because this is kind of a long piece, and I'm just going to pin it in place. You can pin this however you want. Now, these are they're not the hardest New York beauties ever. They are not. They are the simpler ones. I figured, okay, we don't want to scare off beginners or people that are just learning how to curve piece or anything like that. Like, we don't want to scare you guys off, because this is always good. Now, sharp needle, reduced stitch length. I've got mine set at 25 to 30 stitches an inch, which is always wonderful. And then I kind of hold it at the beginning to create a knot. And then I hold it in place and, you know, go from there, right? That creates just a bit of a knot, and it helps with the keeping the fabric together. And that's kind of important when we're doing stuff like this, right? Now, I take my pins out, and I have no leader enders. Oh, I have oodles of them on the cutting table, but it's so far away. It's so far away, and I'm lazy. Okay, so what we do is turn this over, and we have our first line, and I'm just going to finger press. So it's sew, press, trim, repeat. When you're doing foundation paper piecing, the same for this as well, right? So you're going to sew, press, just what I did. You would take yours to an iron, because I'm just going to finger press mine just for now, because I have nails on me that could cut through drywall. So I'm just going to do this, line this up, and keep your fingers away, because I hope you guys enjoyed the rotary cutter safety video. I tried to do it kind of serious so that it wasn't like a tongue-in-cheek, affair, because I cut my finger quite badly here at the beginning in June, and I was like, it has been a month and it's healing, but it's not the same. I've got some issues. I'm just going to trim this off like so, because if I trim it long way, I'm wasting a lot of fabric. And I'm going to trim this just like this. Now this, unfortunately, is too small to use in the piece, but I'm saving this piece, this triangle piece, for the crumb bin, probably the crumb bin. So let's go to the other green side. The next side is green, and let's just put this down just like so. And we've got lots. Okay, get all this stuff out of the way, including the purple. Yeah. Now, there's several ways we can do curves. We can pin them in place, we can needle match, we can do all sorts of other things. Take the method that makes sense to you and the one that you like. Because it's pointless for me to show you. I can show you a whole bunch of different methods. Some of them will give you more accuracy than others, but inevitably it's up to you. It's your sewing room, which one you're going to use, right? Because if it don't make sense to you, or your sewing machine will not do this, right? Because sometimes that happens, right? Your sewing machine just will not put curves in foundation paper piecing, right? I mean, that happens too, right? So, you gotta kind of listen to your sewing machine as well a bit. Okay, so I just press this. We sew, we press, we trim. Okay, and we trim. This is a fun tulip pink. I liked her polka dots. I really enjoyed her polka dots. I always thought her polka dots were so much fun. Polka dots aren't necessarily the most creative thing because they've been around forever, but they're lovely. They're just oversized. They're just a fun, you know, a fun print. Fun print size to have. Okay, another one for the crumb bin. And let's see, let's get some more purple on here. And okay, now I picked a batik for the purple because I thought, ooh, that was such a pretty, and it almost matches that purple in there. So I'm like, okay, we've got something that looks kind of like it would work. Okay, get this out from underneath. My problem is this sewing table is big, but it's too small. It's too small because I got too much stuff on it all the time. There we go. Hold it and it knots, and then let it move. Let it move forward. It's always a really good. There we go. Now, get the other side. There. Yeah. Here. There we go. Get that. Get the other side now. Oh, line that up. There, get that. There we go. It lines up all of a sudden. All of a sudden it lines up. I really like the simpler New York Beauty blocks. They're just lovely. They're, you know, they're very different from what you normally see. I mean, New York Beauties have been around for quite a while now. And my favorites are from Karen Stone. I just love her stuff. But she can get, you can get yourself some really wickedly hard, you know, multi-pieced. These ones are fairly simply pieced. You can get yourself some pretty wildly pieced ones, and I mean, are they fun? Yes. Are they beautiful? Of course they are, right? But I wanted you guys just to get a kind of a taste for it, not, you know, full-blown craziness. So now we're back to the green. And here is, okay, here's where the green goes. Okay, now, come on, under. Oof. There you go. There. Now, okay. Yeah, these ones are nice. They're beautiful. Sometimes you get a lot of beauty out of very simple things, and that should not be, you know, discounted, right? I mean, really. I mean, why not? You know, if you can make something just beautiful with simple designs and lovely fabric, it's perfect. That's what quilters want to do, right? They don't necessarily want to do hard stuff all the time, but it is cool when we do. All right, now, let's see. Let's get this trimmed just like that. This trimmed. There. And we take that purple off if we can. No, it won't come. Okay, I just pull these apart right away if I can, because then I'm not sitting there with a bunch of extra stuff in my crumb bin going, where did all of this come from? And then going, oh yes, I remember. There we go. One more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut here because you guys know how to do this. You just keep going back and forth, and the next color is green, of course. And, you know, you just keep going forward, you know, between the purple and the green until you hit both ends, right? So I'm going to cut here, and we'll come back and we'll show you how to do all the curved piecing. Okay? Okay, we're back and we've got all of this all ready to go now. And I'm just going to remove these. Now, I cut these out just as you would like clothing patterns. If, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you just, okay, we're just doing it this way. I'm just going to move this over out of the way. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this, right? Now, I am a firm believer. Now, I added a 1/4 inch extra to each side. Experience has taught me when you're sewing a curve, sometimes you need just a little bit extra and then you can square it up easier. And my preference when I'm sewing smaller curves like this is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to make a little pinch mark right in the center. And then again on the quarters, right? So I'm going to fold it again, right? So now I have 4 layers and I'm just going to pinch that really hard on the quarter. Okay, so I have now 3 little divots along this. Now, what I'm going to do, just to make this easier on myself today, again, I'm going to make a divot. And I'm also going to make a divot at the top, right? Because I'm going to eventually need that divot. And then again, you're going to put this right to and make a divot, and another divot. Basically, these are little guidelines. Basically, that's all it is. So now I'm going to try and match up my divots and I'm going to pin them. Yes, I'm pinning. I find sometimes when we're doing smaller piecing like this, you want to go 1/4 inch down, take a pin like 2 threads together, just the smallest of bites, the very smallest of bites, right? And you want to go another one, just down, just like, oops, can't talk with my pin in my mouth. And then you want to take it and you want to match up that divot there. Best you can. And of course, yes, the divots are, yeah, okay, there we go. And again, 1/4 inch down, you go 1/4 inch down, you take up like 2 threads, maybe 3, that's it. You want to take the smallest bite you can. And another one in the middle, the smallest bite. Okay. And this way, this helps your precision. It really does. This really is one of those, yeah, this is a good idea, a good thing to know. And yes, my block is going to be a little bit bigger than 12.5, but now I can trim it, right? I can trim this to the right size, and I don't have a massive mess. Oops, ouch, I just stabbed myself. Don't bleed on the fabric. Okay, so now the next divot on the other side. There we go. And sometimes pinning a smaller curve is, yes, it's not speedy, but you get better results. You'll get perfect results with it, right? So that's why we're doing this. We're gonna take a little time, increase our game, play with our game here a bit, and see if we can't do just a hair better. Just a hair. That's all we have to do. Just have to challenge ourselves to do just a bit better. Now you want to line up those 2 straight edges the best you can. And yes, sometimes fabric does not want to play well, but we're going to do our best. Okay. No, this missed it. Ah. Okay. There we go. There. I think this orange is kind of fun, that teal purpley or that bluey green that's in this orange fabric just works out so well with this. And I thought, okay, yeah, we gotta play with this stuff. I was supposed to play with the other stuff, but I thought, yeah, I can play with new stuff. I have enough of it in my stash. I can play with all the new stuff I want anytime I want, and so can you. Okay, no point saving it anymore. So now it really doesn't matter which way you put this under. I'm going to put it under by this method here, where the little piece is on top. Okay, come on. Just catch just a bit. Now you want to run up to the pin. You can go over the pin, but make sure you're cranking it so you're not hitting it at full force. Because, wow, you can set your timing off on your machine very quickly. And you just, you know, what you want to do is you want to practice getting around those curves. Right? You want to practice without all the bumps and humps and like all the, you know, all the problems that can come up, right? But I cheat. I always add like 1/4 inch to both sides on a curve if I can, if I, you know, because then I know it's going to be the right size. Eventually it will be the right size. And there we go. Oh. Yeah. So we've already done a little bit of camping with the grandkids. All 3 of them. It was so much fun, and we went up to Slave Lake, Alberta. The beaches there are just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful beaches. Probably the nicest beaches in all of Alberta. You know, for swimming and having kids play in the sand and just have a great time, you know. Okay, there we go. There's the last one. Now, let's see what I did. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, now, this wants to go this way. That's okay. That is perfectly fine, right? So we just want to push it so that it goes the way it wants to go, right? Now, I can do there. And I just got a wee tiny little pucker. And if I keep rubbing on it, it's gone. Ha ha ha. So that works out perfectly. Now let's try this trick on the paper, right? We have a 1/4 inch over again. So we're going to do the divots right there. And we're going to do a divot on the other point as well, because we might as well. We're here. We're here doing it. Now we're going to do a divot on the 1/4 and the 1/4. Okay. Because you're dealing with paper, it does, you know, divot a little bit better. It's a little easier to divot. Okay, so again, we're going to line it up, starting in the middle and working our way out. We're going to line up those 2 divots. And come on, there we go. I know. So anyways, we've been having a wonderful time with the grandkids. I'm just going to try and catch that line. That's all I'm going to try and do. Now I want to get this divot lined up. And there we go. Now I want to start pinning a little bit back, but I only want to come up in the line. Right in that line. Just like so. Just like that. You want to come up in the line, not on this side of the line, but on that side of the line. And then of course you want to do the end piece. There we go. Just like that. You're going to go up and into that line. Right into that corner. Now, you're also going to now try and go in between those pins, right? And you want to go above the line and then come up at the line. Go down a little bit. Just push this a little bit down, a little bit further down. There we go. And again, a little bit above the line. Oops, a little bit above the line and out by the line. Okay, now we get the other side done. And this is where it becomes a little awkward because it wants to curl. Yes, it wants to curl. Now, where's my divot? Oh, there it is. There, my divot is there. I'm going to piece that there first. Oops, go up a little bit higher. Okay, catch that line. Okay. There. Now, doesn't matter what we do to this one, this piece here, because of the paper, is going to push in, right in towards the orange. And that's okay because we can always clip the orange and make it fit. Oops, I missed the orange. Okay. There we go. There. And the last piece. Here. Push that this way, right to the end. Square it up the best you can. Yeah. So we're actually thinking now of buying an RV. So I'm just kind of wondering how long that will take. I'm just, you know, as soon as we started talking about selling our little home in Tucson, we started getting these shorts, like our computers were listening in on us, and we started getting shorts on RVs that are for sale, and I'm like, wow. You know, the RVs range in all sorts of different sizes and price points, and, you know, you get an RV that is something that you need, not all these excessive, beautiful things that come with RVs, you know. So, now, it's up to you whether you want to go from this way in. It's a little awkward. I would try and go this way. I would try. Just to try, because hopefully you've got all of this matched up the best you can. But we're just going to try it this way, because it shouldn't matter now that you've got it all pinned. And you want to stay in that 1/4 inch. There we go. They always say bias on the bottom, but sometimes it's okay to have the bias on top. And sometimes too, if your feed dogs aren't really spotless, you're going to have slippage. And if you're not pinning, right, that can create a lot of problems very quickly for you. And I'm just giving you that heads up because, yeah, it can be bad. Now, ooh, okay, pick that up, smooth that out. Really? I did it again? My pin box keeps closing on me. Okay. There. Okay. Pull and remove. Get this one down as best we can. There we go. We need to ease some of this in. That's okay. Remember, we're over. We're over by 1/4 inch on each side. So if we have to start easing, that's fine. But when you're easing in, make sure you lift your foot up. There we go. And if we're over, we're over. But you don't want little pleats in here either. I'm just going to pull that pin just to remove that little pleat. There we go. And remove another little pleat, and there we're done. Okay. Let's see what this looks like now. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between pinning. Okay. Now, this is pressing this way, right? Where it's pressing in because of all the paper. And that really doesn't cause an issue right now. Because, I mean, this could go this way too, right? I mean, you know, they have everything going the right way. But once you get into this row here, because the paper is going to push out, right? So you are going to have some issues with this. Right now, I'm going to try this. What I should do is sew these two together. That's what I should do. Sew these two together first, and then we'll sew this one on. Gives me something a little bit more to hold on to, and it should work a bit better. Wait a minute. I should start on this end. Yeah, start on this end. Okay, and then I'll show you what the accuracy difference is between pinning your blocks, your curve, and not pinning your curve. Okay, so now we start feeding this in right away, and we go on 1/4 inch, and I'm just using the side of my foot for this, because my side of my foot's about a 1/4 inch, scant 1/4 inch. It's about a scant 1/4. And you just do a bit at a time, and this is the easier curve, right? because it's the biggest curve on the block. There we go, and there. Now notice I'm not holding it at the edge, I'm holding it in the middle. Right? The middle is the least, gives the least opportunity for me to stretch the fabric. That is also really important when you're doing this, because you don't want to stretch that edge. That's the last thing you want to do is stretch the edge. Okay, and basically all you're doing now with your fingers is steering those two pieces to lay together perfectly at a 1/4 inch. Okay. And reposition, reposition. Again with the reposition thing. And guess what? I'm a 1/4 inch out. Right? There we go. That's what the difference is, right? That's what the difference is right there. I am a 1/4 inch out because I didn't pin. I didn't take the opportunity to pin this, right? So now I'm just going to give it a quick finger press and cut off the excess strings. So I did not pin this. So if I want accuracy now in this block, and I mean my templates are accurate, it's just that I have added a little bit so I have wiggle room, right? So now I'm going to sit here. Okay, if I do just sew it, I'm going to be out. I know I'm going to be out. Now, am I okay with being out? Probably not. If I was doing something really important where I had to match points on the second one, yeah, I know. I can probably do this and be a 1/4 inch out over here. I'm okay with that, right? But, I don't know. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this anyways. Because I got a funny feeling my feed dogs aren't perfectly crystal clear, clean, and that's what's causing some issues with sewing curves. But let's try this. Anyway. There we go. Now you're going to follow the line, and you're just going to be wiggling the yellow or orange underneath. As you go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. There, just do a little bit at a time. It's not a race. Get it nice and smoothly in. It's fine. Right? Oops, just get that straightened out just a hair. Now the cotton's sticking to each other and the paper is causing issues, but it's not slipping like it was. So that's good. I'm a little off of my 1/4 inch, but that's okay. It's less than a needle's width. I don't have to change it. And since I'm not making hundreds of these blocks, I don't have to worry about people noticing there's a little bit of a problem. And here we go. And I'm a full 1/2 inch away. There. That's what I'm talking about. There's pinning versus, okay, there's pinning versus, just a sec. I'll just show you how. See, I'm a whole like 1/2 inch out now, right? That is the, see where this, I'm like 1/8 of an inch out on here, just this seam right here. And I've pinned where I didn't pin. And now, because this is not pushing, the right way. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Let me just press this in the way it's going to go. It's going to go this way whether paper's on it or not because it's got all these seams, right? So let's press it that way and just get it over with. But now I have to go through as well and clip the orange to give it some ease. And the only one I'm going to clip is the orange. And I'm just going to clip it just like you would clip your curves on a sleeve or something. You clip almost to the stitching line and you do it about every ½ inch. And what's going to happen is that seam here will relax a bit and it will relax and fit around the paper. Oops. And I've got a bit more of this to go. Yes, I'm a little off on my ½ inch, but not enough to take apart, believe it or not. You know, that's where people get, oh, I'm out. No, it's fine. If you're less than a pin width, the metal shank of a pin, if you're less than that, don't take it apart. Don't take it apart and do it. You know, that's just not worth your time. Not worth it. Not. It's stealing your joy. You know, it's like, okay, so now, there we go. And I'm just, okay. So now this will lie it'll lie much smoother once it's ironed because of the paper. Now I could take the paper off too, right? And that would also help. But because there's so many seams going this way, that seam is going to point, this seam right here is pointing this way. And that's causing some stress on this fabric. So let me give this a really good iron and square it up to 12.5 inches unfinished, and I'll be right back for the big ta-da moment. So here is our New York Beauty Minute Block 7, and it did come out okay. I will probably have to take the papers out of this to get this to lie absolutely flat, but this did work out. It did finally work out. But we've got some pretty wild colors going on here with the purple, green, and orange color palette. And yeah, we're not doing whites or anything in here. We're just doing crazy. It's going to be fine. So I'm having a lot of fun with this one. I hope you guys are sewing along too. This will be made into, the 12 blocks will be made into a baby quilt and be given to for charity. So we're having some fun with this one. So you guys, I hope you stay well and take care until we see each other next time. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, you know, your ½ inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.